And I'm coming back at you. It's Jordan Taylor at Expand the Visual, expandthevisual.com. And I'm the author of the new book, How to Wash Your Brain, Rote Learning Secrets for Homeschool, High School, and Beyond. I wrote this book to help people learn how to learn. And there's no better time to learn how to learn than during this pandemic. We're all dealing with virtual learning, and even though that ball is rolling, we're already starting to see it kind of crumble apart. People are being frustrated. Parents don't know what to do. Students don't know what to do. Even teachers don't know what to do. So I'm here to help. And today, the way we're going to do that is I'm going to reveal the basic pattern behind learning to you. Yes, learning does have a basic pattern. You could think of it as an algorithm. If the word algorithm is scary to you, it sounds like a bunch of computer nerds talking to each other. Just think of it like a recipe. And in this case, it's a 3-step algorithm or a 3-step recipe. It's called 3R. Now, I have this flashcard not just to display 3R, but also the easiest way to understand this algorithm is actually how a flashcard works. So I'm going to explain 3 different ways to use this algorithm. First is how you use it with a flashcard. Then I'll demonstrate how you use that to become a better listener. And then finally, we're going to talk about using that to boost your reading comprehension. All right, so take a look at this flashcard. You have on the front of it the thing you want to remember. You want to know what 3R is. So this is, you think of it like the cue, okay? This is the cue. If it was a vocabulary word, you would have the new word you don't know, and the definition would be on the back. So the first thing we do is we read, all right? We're reading the information. This 3-step algorithm is read, recite, review. That's the 3 steps. Now, do you remember that? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the way a flashcard works is you get a glimpse of it, you read it the first time. Now, most people, when they're studying with flashcards, they make a huge mistake. They think that they should look at the cue and then immediately flip over and look at the answer. That's wrong. What you're supposed to do is bring it into some sort of active phase. Because when you're reading the information, that's passive. You're passively taking in information. But when you put the flashcard down and try to remember what's on the other side, that's the recite phase. And that's the active phrase. And what I always tell my students is your brain is going, oh no, we really do need to know that because the guy upstairs is asking for that information back. And so it starts to strengthen all those neural patterns and make the information more accessible. It doesn't happen instantly. You have to do it time and time again. The back of the flashcard, where the answer is, that's for the 3rd step, review. You flip the flashcard over to make sure that you got the right answer. So think of it like this. I look at it, it says 3R. Okay, 3R. What was 3R? Was that read, recite, redo? And then I immediately look at it because I have to review to see if I got the right answer. Oh no, I was wrong. It's not redo, it's review. That's the basic algorithm. You have the passive phase where you're reading the information in. You have the active phase where you are trying to bring that information back up from within. And then the final stage is where you look at the answer and you make sure that whatever your brain threw out is exactly what you were trying to remember. So that's the basic algorithm of a flashcard. Now the second place I'll show you that where this is good and recommended is in listening, okay? A lot of people don't listen, they wait for their turn to talk. There's a whole dialogue going on in your head and, oh, okay, I picked out this one little thing and I'm going to say this story about myself next. And we've all experienced that where we feel like the other person's not really listening to us. So a psychologist named Carl Rogers, he came up with something called active listening. And in active listening, what you do is you listen to the other person, then you restate what they just said. You try to tell back to them, hey, you said this, at least this is what I think you said, and then you give them the opportunity to correct you and say, no, you got 2 of those parts right, but you forgot this 3rd thing that I said. That's called active listening. Well, that sounds a lot like 3R, right? Where you passively take the information in, then you try to recite it back, and finally you have your error correction portion, the review, where the person corrects you if you're wrong. That's all it is. Once you start looking at it and learning, the 3R algorithm is everywhere. Here's another thing. People, especially kids, but adults are more apt to make excuses, say, I'm not a good reader, okay? I'm sitting here reading, and I read this paragraph, and then I can't even remember the paragraph I just read. And you find yourself going back and reading that same paragraph again. Or you get to the end of a chapter, and you don't remember. People will say, I don't have good reading comprehension skills. Bullshit. Here's what the problem is. You're not doing 3R. You're only doing the passive reading phase. So instead, what you should do is periodically, while you're reading, close the book and make your brain do the active work of remembering. What did I just read? Okay, I remember they said this and that. Was there any extra information I forgot? Now you're kicked back into review. You just go back and skim what you read. Oh, okay, that's the third part that I forgot. Just that simple act of making your brain more active and trying to recall things helps a lot. Now, my son, he had some problems with reading comprehension, and what I suggested that he do was at the end of each chapter, take a piece of paper or directly in the book, write a summary of that chapter. Just a couple sentences. Hey, this is what happened in the chapter. That's the active part, right? That's the recite part. And then go back and skim the chapter and see if you forgot anything or made any mistakes. That's his error correction review. That simple effort that you put in there is going to make your reading comprehension automatically go up. That's why teachers ask questions at the end of a chapter, to get the mind being active. So if you like to read or you need to study something and remember it, use the 3R algorithm. Once you start looking for it, it's everywhere. So that's it. That's the meta tip. That is the basic pattern behind all learning. We figured it out. We put a name to it. No one thought it was possible. Nobody thought it could be done, but there it is. So, if you would like to read more about this, it's very important to understand how your brain works. So you need to pick up a copy of How to Wash Your Brain. Just look in the show notes, click the link down below in this video. It'll take you directly to Amazon to pick up your copy. It's a short, easy read, and I made it entertaining so that you wouldn't be bored. All right. Let me know what you think after you buy it. I'd love to hear the comments, and I'd also love to see what you have to say in the reviews on Amazon.